The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
Maria, you're having some difficulties?
I can hardly hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. That's strange. Are you on a landline?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's give it a shot, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. What can't you talk about? You mentioned something you could not discuss. What was it?
Things like suicide.
Oh, I wouldn't discuss that.
Okay.
Why give something good away, right?
Okay.
But it's a bad sense of humor. But anyways, I'm having a lot of difficulties in my marriage. It's been going on for 9 years.
Okay.
And just nothing there. Nothing.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
Pardon?
No, go ahead.
Oh, and I don't know what to do. There's no sex drive for him.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of alone in it, you know. I was going to go back to my religion, but because of that, he got even more upset. So his mentioning leaving and things, which, you know, might be better in the long run, but I don't want to stay here kind of alone because it's out in the sticks, and I'd be stuck.
Okay.
And it's a very complex thing. And right now I got my granddaughter's been with me since February.
How old is she?
She had no place to live, and she's pregnant. And I'm like,
Yeah.
And she's ADHD, and I've been just going crazy.
Okay. It sounds like you're on overload, and it sounds like you've been married for how many years?
13.
13 years, and some of them are good.
A few.
Okay.
My daughter died the year before, so it did put a damper on even our relationship.
Oh,
you know?
Is this your granddaughter's mom?
Yeah.
Who died? What did she die of?
Suicide. You told me not to mention that.
Okay. No, that's okay. I'm amazed that you could joke about it. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So that's a lifelong pain. That's a lifelong
everything happened
awful.
to me. I lost a lot of everything.
Yeah. You lost a lot of what? People?
I lost a lot of, but I've lost a lot of feelings. Like, I'm not close to my granddaughter, and we were kept apart for a long time because my other daughter had her.
Okay.
And she was very selfish with her and wouldn't let anyone see her. This is the truth.
Yeah.
And so she's got a lot of really bad issues with ADHD and everything.
And why won't your other daughter take her back?
The other daughter?
Yeah, that was taking care of the granddaughter who's now pregnant.
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh, I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Why won't your other daughter take her back?
The other daughter?
Yeah, that was taking care of the granddaughter who's now pregnant.
She abused her.
Okay.
She mentally abused her. She told me this. She's in counseling. I've got her in counseling.
Yeah. So here's the problem. It sounds like you don't own your own life, that there are circumstances way beyond your control. For example, your daughter's suicide, having the responsibility of a granddaughter whom you didn't bond with early on, who was abused by the other daughter, and now she's pregnant. How far along is she in the pregnancy?
She's anytime.
Oh, that's too bad. She obviously doesn't have a hubby around that's going to support her. So why she went through with a pregnancy in a civilized era, I don't know, but that's her choice.
Kept her captive. There's a long story with
it. Okay. So there's a lot going on. The piece that I'm hearing from you, though, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that you want to feel happy. You want to feel your emotions coming back to you. And
I feel so dead.
Yeah, many times when people have gone through horrendous trauma, like you have gone through with your daughter suiciding, it's people don't want to feel pain anymore, and they just say, "Oh,
close it off."
Yeah, I don't want to feel the pain anymore, and so what your subconscious hears is, honey, shut down, close it off.
Exactly.
And you not only do you lop off the pain, but you lop off the joy in life.
Yes.
So partly to be able to breathe again emotionally, you need to be able to feel. And to be able to feel, feelings don't just come in the positive. When you allow yourself to respond to things in the world, both positive and negative, you get both. You get positive and negative. And if you can let a little bit of the negative back in, and I don't mean just to dwell on negatives, but not be so afraid of them, not let them terrorize you, then you can begin to enjoy your life. And I would recommend, number one, starting slowly. Maybe you can't resolve the granddaughter issue right now, but one of the things you can do is every single day, Maria, find something that you enjoy, whether it's a walk, whether it's calling a friend who's not involved with all this mess, whether it's reaching out, whether it's starting a new hobby. It could be as simple. The other day I picked up knitting. I thought my husband would have a fit because I haven't knit in years, and he thinks it's kind of silly. But I actually found it very relaxing. Finding something. If you're lonely, there's a book, the Loneliness book, by I think it's Mary Ellen Copeland, that you might try. It has some ideas in it on connecting, but you need something in every single day that's your life. Should you leave your husband or not? You sound very solid that you've been in a bad marriage for 9 years. There is nothing there, you told me. If there is nothing there, then you answered your own question. Yes, it would be great to leave him. Now you need to deal with the functional things. How do you leave him when you're out in the boondocks with your granddaughter, right? So that would be the question to ask yourself and work with a therapist on, to come up with a strategy. It may not be this year, but to come up with a strategy where your granddaughter maybe can get some help elsewhere to become more self-responsible, and where you can gently liberate yourself and also liberate yourself from the marriage. So I would get that help. Thank you so much for your call.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And here's a little more from Dr. Kenner.
Oh, it's kind of sensitive.
Listen, Phil, as a psychiatrist,
Anything you tell me will be kept in the strictest confidence.
It's funny how the more you bottle things up inside, the bigger they seem to be.
Well, I've never told anybody this before, but... Okay, here goes. 6 years ago, I was abducted by aliens.
And that's from Fraser. And you can keep stuff bottled up inside, and it's absolutely true that if you find someone whom you can trust, whether it's a therapist or maybe a good friend or maybe your spouse, and you start to unbottle what you've kept inside for so long, assuming you don't burden the person you're unbottling with, it can feel such a relief. It can feel like, oh my God, I thought this was a huge deal. And by talking about it, by getting it out in the open, even by writing it down on paper, I'm seeing that it may not be as gigantic as I thought. And I can see there are some aspects that I was exaggerating or catastrophizing about. And maybe I can make sense of my life, or maybe I'm seeing other paths I can take, other choices I can make with friendships or whatnot. However, there's one caveat. If what you unbottle is that you've been abducted by aliens, you definitely need help, because there ain't no aliens. There are no aliens, and the problem with that is you've lost contact with reality, and you don't want a therapist who goes along with you, obviously. You want a therapist who has their feet grounded in the facts, in reality, and will help you go from a state where you may be either evading, pushing stuff out of awareness, or making stuff up, believing in fortune tellers and whatnot, astrology, stuff that is bogus. And you need to get reality-based. You don't want to use irrational methods to try to enjoy your life, because you can never get to genuine happiness through irrationality or mysticism.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke, who's world famous for his theories in goal setting.
Sharing information and problems, including fears, is another important part of communication. Honey, I worry sometimes that my business will fail and I'll leave you and the kids with nothing. This underscores a key issue that comes up in many marriages: finances. In the past, men typically took charge of finances and didn't want their wives to worry about them, leaving their wives in the financial dark. This traditional view is not necessarily based on bad motives on the man's part. It may stem from his protective attitude toward his wife.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.